Hello, this is Lucia Capacchione again with the Creative Journal Goes Viral. We're living in a very stressful time, and I wanted to spend time with you today in our garden. We're in the middle of a pine forest in Cambria by the Pacific Ocean in California. And it's a beautiful setting, and I have found that in these very stressful times, being in touch with nature has been very important. And nature is a wonderful place to be doing journaling. It's calming, it puts you in touch with something very basic, it's extremely healthy, and if there's any chance that you have of getting to a place in nature during this time, I strongly advise it. If you can't, then the journaling will need to be something that's very internal. And one of the things you can do is perhaps find some pictures of nature that you can collage into your journal to give yourself the memory of what it was like to be out in a beautiful setting. And that can give you a sense of calm and a sense of the memory that you have, and you carry those memories in your body. So those safe places, those beautiful natural spots that you've been to, can be a great reminder of nature. Now, today I want to talk about the health benefits that have been proven in terms of writing about crisis or trauma. Dr. James Pennebaker, a psychologist who used to be at a university in Texas doing research, he was at Southern Methodist University, and he did research with two groups. One group was writing about trivia, anything they wanted to write about. The other group was writing about trauma, crisis, challenges that they'd been through, illness, etc. And they did pre and post blood tests with these groups. What they discovered was that the blood tests of those who were writing about crisis and trauma showed an improvement in the immune system function as measured by the blood. The other group, their blood was the same. Pre and post, same thing. But there was an improvement in the group that was writing about trauma. Then they tracked these individuals who were in this study, and they found that those who wrote about trauma and crisis and challenges and illness actually made fewer doctor's visits after the writing project. The trivia group, no change. So that research became the gold standard of looking at the health benefits of therapeutic writing, which is the kind of work that I do. And that has been reproduced. There's many research projects that have reproduced that model, and they've all gotten the same results. So when I met Dr. Pennebaker in the 80s, when he started publishing that research, I asked him his opinion about drawing in a journal as well as writing. I had given him a manuscript of my second book, Power of Your Other Hand, and we talked about the therapeutic aspect of writing. And he had the opinion that the drawing of the trauma and crisis and all of that would also benefit the individual. And of course, the combination of drawing and writing sounded like a really good bet. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Interestingly enough, just before the COVID crisis started to hit, I had an accident. I fell in my studio and I fractured my right shoulder. I'm right-handed, so that was very inconvenient. And what happened was that I had to start teaching right away because I had a class scheduled and intensive for 4 days. So I toughed it out, and I had a sling for my arm so that I wouldn't disturb that shoulder and it could heal. But after all of that happened and all the teaching happened, I was feeling very tired and realizing that I hadn't really dealt with that injury. And so I did some journaling, and this is an exercise that you can do if you're having any kind of physical symptoms or pain, especially in relation to the stress of this particular time when we're all sheltering in place. And I did my standard drawing exercise where I drew an outline of the front and the back of my body. And I'm showing you one of my more primitive drawings because I don't want you to be intimidated and think that if you don't have any talent or training in art, you can't do this. I have lots of talent and training in art, and I was a professional artist. But when I do this work, I'm not worried about what the picture looks like. So I do the outline, and I call this a body map. And inside that outline, I color in the areas where there is pain and stress. And I try to use colors that kind of express how that feels, which is what I did here. And you'll see my right shoulder is very prominently pictured there with the area of the fracture. And I had a few other bruises and bumps, so I pictured those as well. Then what I do is I have a written dialogue with the body part, and I use my dominant and my non-dominant hand for doing that dialogue. And so I'm going to share a little bit about the kinds of dialogues I do and what comes out of that. These are dialogues that involve 4 basic questions. What are you? What body part are you? How do you feel right now? And that's going to ask for a physical sensation or maybe an emotion. Sometimes an emotion word comes out as well. The 4th question is, why do you feel that way? So you want to find out what is the cause of this. Sometimes we don't know what the cause of it is. And then you want to ask, and what can I do to help you? So it's 4 basic questions, and it's a very simple format of dialogue with the dominant hand asking the questions and the non-dominant hand answering. So in this particular dialogue, I was dialoguing with my body and on the left side. And so you see the bright pink is my non-dominant hand answering. So the question, how do you feel? And then the answer. And that is a very simple way to find out exactly what's going on in your body, both physically and emotionally. It's interesting, you are the patient and you're also the healer, because you are looking for all of the causes of this, finding out, you're assessing it, you're diagnosing it. And then what is the solution? What's the answer? What's the healing measure? Sometimes your body will tell you need to slow down. It might need you to rest, take naps. All kinds of answers will come out, and it's important to pay attention to them. So this is a very important and very simple method that you can use for dealing with any kinds of physical stress that you're experiencing right now. And these activities appear in my book, Hello, This Is Your Body Talking. It's a draw-it-yourself coloring book, and the exercise I just outlined for you is all contained in the first part of this book, with lots of paper for you to actually do the activity on. So that is the activity that helps you deal with physical and emotional stress that has somatized, it has located itself in your body.